Good afternoon. This is Victoria Berry, and today's topic is the digestion. And I've been asked to discuss how a cheeseburger would move along the digestive system. So, the digestion, and I have a chart here that shows the diagram of the digestive system. This would begin with the oral cavity, where the food is chewed by the teeth and moistened with saliva. The tongue has taste buds which allow us to experience the flavor of our food. And the oral cavity contains salivary glands which open into the mouth, and there are several names for these. The submandibular gland, which is located on the floor of the mouth. The lingual glands, which are below the tongue, and the parotid glands, which are near the ears. So saliva contains a digestive enzyme called salivary amylase, which facilitates the breaking down of carbohydrates. The saliva also moistens the food which is worked on by the action of the tongue as chewing is going on, and creates a bolus, which is a small ball, basically, of food that can be easily swallowed down into the next section of the digestive system. This next section is called the pharynx, which moves through the throat area and into the esophagus and drops down into the stomach. The stomach is where the food is moved by vigorous muscular actions of peristalsis and is acted upon by digestive stomach acids. Proteins, such as would exist in hamburger meat, are broken down by this hydrochloric acid and also by an enzyme called pepsin. So then the food is emptied out of the stomach area. Depending on the fat content of the food, fat digests quite slowly. It can be anywhere from 2 to 4 hours and is emptied out into the large intestine. Also very important for the digestion of and breaking down of the food are the accessory organs of digestion. If you'll notice in the diagram, the liver is here, and the liver secretes emulsifying substances, a fluid, which facilitates the digestion of fat. And the pancreas facilitates carbohydrates and sugars, such as might be found in a hamburger bun. So once the food exits the stomach, it enters into the winding large intestine, which is where the majority of the nutritional absorption occurs. This particular section of the digestion is the longest, which can be approximately 10 feet long in a living adult. The large intestine is divided into 3 regions. The one closest to the stomach is called the duodenum. The next one is the jejunum, and the third is the ileum. So the small intestine contain little folds called villi, which facilitate absorption, and the food moves along through continued actions of peristalsis. The final portion of the digestion is the large intestine, which completes the absorptions of nutrients and water, vitamins, and gradually removes the water out of what's remaining of the food, which is primarily like a cellulose kind of content at this phase. and it moves it along through the colon and the rectal area. The large intestine is divided into 4 regions called the cecum, the colon, the rectum, and then emptying down into the anal muscle sphincter. The ileocecal valve controls the flow of this chyme solution, which becomes progressively more of a solid, from the small intestine to the large intestine. The cecum is the ascending portion of the colon, which makes a complete loop across the abdominal area. So you have the ascending colon, the transverse colon, the splenic flexure, and then down into the descending colon, where ultimately it is excreted out the body through the rectum. And I thank you for this opportunity to present this lab presentation regarding the digestion. Have a good afternoon.